Hey guys, it's Ben here, and welcome to Devblog 4, update 4, essentially, on Survive Together Die Alone. And yes, this update I've been working quite a bit on the mechanics of the game, especially the weapons, and particle effects, and even sounds. As you can hear, I've got sounds in the game now. This is actually dubbed over audio, so it's not real-time recording, but, you know, whatever. Yes, this is it. Pretty much I've been working quite a bit on the weapon mechanics, including like bullet casing ejection, muzzle flashes, smoke, kickback, so the camera actually gets forced upwards as the bullets fire at a certain degree. And I've also been working on ricocheting, which is what's being shown now. And depending on the angle, it will receive that impact, generate an output velocity, and calculate whether or not it should ricochet or not, and velocity reduction and all that sort of stuff. And you can see their bullets ricochet off, and when they ricochet, they spawn like a trail, like a little dust trail to indicate they've ricocheted. I don't know, but yeah, they'll ricochet and they'll impact with other items. As of now, they only ricochet once. They cannot do it twice. So a bullet can't hit a wall, bounce off, and hit another wall, and bounce off. They'll just hit a wall, then hit another wall, and just despawn essentially. Yeah, there's no bullet penetration. That's a bit difficult to do, but I've been working quite a bit on the gun. The animations still need touching up on. I'm pretty bad at animating. I might have to outsource animations, but yeah, I'm pretty happy. I've got the footsteps and everything implemented. But yeah, also I've done different physical material types. So depending on what the weapon bullet hits, because it's physically an actual projectile that spawned, it will hit that item, receive the normal impact velocity, and generate the output velocity, as well as what material am I hitting. Is it wood, metal, mud, flesh, or anything really, and then it will just spawn a particle depending on the normal surface and all that sort of fancy stuff. I've also been working on decals. But I've had an issue with decals. I don't know how to rotate them randomly, because every time I try, they just sort of glitch out. So they just spawn on the X vector, and basically normal impact. Yeah. So crouching doesn't have any weapon sounds yet. And one thing, I've added god rays. God rays have been added. Yeah, they're pretty easy to add, but nice little touching effect there. So the decals, fully automatic decals. There actually is a bug in the game where the weapon glitches out and forgets it's actually equipped to my character's hand. That might happen later on, I'm pretty sure, but so yeah, these are the different decals and everything being shown here. I'm pretty sure that's all the decals I'm having in the game. So when a bullet hits the floor, it'll ricochet and despawn, and in those two instances it will actually spawn a decal. So if it hits one point, ricochets, hits the next point, it'll spawn a decal for both impacts. See, that's what I'm going for, and that worked pretty well. Yeah, so on the bottom right you can see that little very heavy on the bottom right. That's actually indicating the mass of the magazine. Now I know my HUD's very generic. As of now, it's just functional. It's not set in stone. I can't do graphics. I'm not very good at 2D graphics and drawing and that. I'm more of a 3D guy. But I probably should outsource that to get someone else to do the HUD, because I cannot do HUDs for crap. Everything that I have on the HUD right now is just pre-built, sort of on Google. I didn't make any of the HUD elements. I sort of just, it either comes with the Unreal Engine 4 or you have to find it on Google. But yes, I've actually been working on the doors quite a bit. The past update, you just use a trigger receiver, like a trigger box, but now it actually does like a ray trace and detects if you're looking at the door or not looking at the door, and it will say, okay, you're inside the trigger and you're looking at the door. And here's the bug now you're seeing. The game's glitched out because it thinks I'm not equipped the gun, then I have to unequip and then re-equip it, and it'll work fine. It usually happens after a sprint. I know the issue, but I'm just too lazy to fix it. I've also been working on different sound volumes. Pretty much, this is very easy to implement, but yeah, glitch happened again. It's very easy to implement, but it could be a very effective way to immerse the player within your game. Yeah, there's a lot of work to be done on the HUD especially, but yeah, I've also been working on different footstep types, so physics materials. The thing is, they're very reminiscent of Minecraft. I don't know why, they just sound very Minecrafty. It's actually really annoying. I can't be stuffed fixing that up, but I'm gonna have to fix it up. So I've got concrete, dirt, grass, gravel, metal, 2 different types of metals, and a mud. I've also got water and wood, but I haven't actually put this in yet. And these sounds also work with reverb, so you can hear, sounds like I'm in a larger room. And I feel like it's a pretty cool feeling. It's very easy to do, but it adds like a very complex layer of detail. That's mostly what I've been working on, is material types and a few bugs here and there. I haven't really done much in regards to visual effects. I actually do want to add another gun later on today or tomorrow, just so I have because I have my equipment slots, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 is your primary, so it's like your larger weapons. 2 is like your secondaries. 3rd is like your melee, or gonna be either, I think, your melee, and 4th would be like throwables. I'll see how that goes, but there's a lot of things I need to do, and it's getting a bit more complicated now. As the game gets bigger, it progressively becomes larger and larger, to the point where one day you're working on fixing the most tedious bug that you cannot fix, to the next being like, you know, some big complex new reiteration on something and rewriting of the old code that I wrote earlier on, and it just gets a bit difficult. So basically what you're seeing now is me just doing a bit of development on sort of one of the things I've actually been working on, which is the new HUD thing, where it comes up and says, you know, light, heavy, medium, whatever, etc., depending on the magazine you're holding and equipping. But it's very basic, sounds very basic, but it's very annoying to implement, because I had to convert an integer into a float. Now, an integer is... No, I had to convert a float into... I can't remember. Whatever, it'll probably show on the recording, or the time lapse, but a float and an integer... A float can be in decimal value, whereas an integer can only be solid value. So yes, I'm trying to convert an integer into a float. So basically, I had to do the multiplicative of 1, and then divide whatever that number is by the total amount of ammo amassed in a magazine. Now, it sounds very complicated and nerdy, and it sounds simple to an extent, but it's not, because an integer and a float do not trunicate with each other, basically meaning they don't communicate, because one's a solid number and one goes into decimal. So if you're trying to convert a decimal into a solid, it doesn't work, so just round off to the nearest 0 or 1. And that's something I had to figure out here, and I just did like a little cheat. I just times it by 1, so obviously 0.2 times 1 is going to be 0.2, or 2 times 1 is going to be 2, so let's do 0.1, times it by 1, and then you get your float output, or your float, branch off of that, and it works to an extent, which is what I did. But yes, yeah, I guess I'll leave the, I'll see how it goes, and anyway, thanks for watching. Devblog 4, I'm not very good with voiceovers, and I hate the sound of my own voice, and I sound quite retarded, to be honest, but whatever. Yes, I think I might start doing every 2 weeks, maybe. I'm not 110% sure on this, maybe just me doing like a speed model or something, just to, because I'm always doing programming, I'm never working on the model aspect side of things. I do sort of future-proof that, so when I'm developing my map, I could just, develop it in one smooth motion instead of having to go forth and back between applications to develop my certain assets and such. But yes, every month I'm going to try and release a development update, no matter how much I have done or haven't done, even if why I might not do it, I don't know, it's all speculation as of now. I don't know how far I'm going to go with my game development. I really do want to complete this game, but as I'm developing it more and more, it's becoming too broad, and it's too much of a tree for me to try and focus on, and little things I do that take me a couple of hours almost feel like I've done nothing in the game. I'm still like 1 to 2% complete of my game, and the first 10% of developing a game is often the hardest, because it's like, the foundation, and once you've developed the foundation, from there onwards the other 90% is going to be like 500 times easier, because everything's already done, built, and in place. You just need to assemble it as one like building block, basically. This is probably the longest project I've worked on, and I'm probably most motivated on it. That's why I'm doing these development update videos every month. That way I feel my own sense of gratification and progression, and I do look forward to seeing where it's like, in the next 4 to 5 months, because even when I look at my game like 3 or 4 months ago, when I uploaded my first dev update, it's like, wow, when I was doing that piece in that point of time, to then look back at it now, it's like during that moment I didn't see myself as doing it anyway. But yeah, just watching, and see you in the next update video.